Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving right into Navisworks Manage 2026 to completely transform how you handle clash detection and massive BIM models. Look, if you've ever stared at a Friday afternoon clash report and felt absolutely overwhelmed by the sheer volume of data in your construction model, you are in exactly the right place. Let's fix that.
All right, let's just get straight into it. You know the drill. Construction today means navigating a pretty chaotic intersection of different software outputs. We've got Revit, AutoCAD, Civil 3D, and a dozen other platforms, literally all dumping data into one single project. When you bring all those different models together, it usually leads to incredibly messy, unsorted layer imports. Honestly, it's exactly like dumping 10 different jigsaw puzzles onto one table and trying to make sense of the pieces.
So how do we bring order to all that chaos? Well, Navisworks Manage is basically your ultimate organizational command center. Specifically, we are going to leverage two of its most powerful tools, Find Items and Search Sets. These tools are the absolute secret to actually taking control of your model, rather than just letting the model control you.
Here's our quick roadmap for the explainer today. We'll start with the BIM navigation challenge, then activate the selection tree, compare static versus dynamic sets, define our search conditions, master some and/or logic, and finally wrap up with collaborating with shared sets.
First up, the BIM Navigation Challenge. Let's talk about bringing some order to that Revit chaos. As our source material nails down perfectly, effectively grouping your imported Revit layers is literally the foundation for any successful clash detection. You basically need to put all those layers coming from Revit into specific sets, which gives you total leverage over your model. Think about it. If you don't organize your elements into distinct groups, you just can't isolate them. And if you can't isolate them, running an efficient clash detection test between, say, your structural framing and your mechanical ductwork becomes incredibly frustrating. These sets give you total access and leverage over every single element in your project.
Moving on to step 2, activating the selection tree. We've got to find those hidden tools first.
If you open up Navisworks and your sets or selection tree is just missing, don't panic. It's a super simple fix. Just follow this highly logical sequence. Head over to the View tab on your ribbon. Scroll down to the Windows dropdown and just check Sets. Boom! This reveals a dockable window. You can drag it around, resize it, pin it to the side, maybe the bottom of your screen, whatever fits your specific workflow. Getting this workspace prepped is your essential first step to mastering the model.
Which brings us to part 3, static versus dynamic sets. We're really choosing the exact right tool for the job.
Now, this is absolutely crucial. You have to know the massive difference between a static set and a dynamic one. Think of selection sets as a static snapshot in time. They're great if you just want to quickly select the entire architectural model to hide it temporarily. But if the architect issues a new model version next week, that set isn't going to automatically grab any newly added elements. On the flip side, we have search sets, designated by that distinct little binocular icon. These are incredibly smart. They don't just remember what you clicked, they actually remember the rules you set.
For ongoing clash detection, the source material lays out a golden rule. Always go with search sets if you want an updated model. As new versions of Revit files get linked in over the lifecycle of a project, a search set automatically scans the new model and pulls in any new elements that match your criteria. It completely eliminates the need to manually rebuild your groups every single week. I mean, the amount of time that saves is huge.
Okay, section 4, defining search conditions. Let's look at isolating those exact elements. The real beauty of Navisworks is how it pulls that deep metadata straight out of Revit. Over in the Find Items window, you can group elements by very specific Revit properties. Imagine you're on a massive, complex renovation project. You can search for the property phase, set the condition to demolished, and instantly grab all the demo scope across the entire model. With just one click, you can hide all of it. It instantly cleans up your visual workspace, so you're only seeing the new construction.
So, setting this up is a really logical sequence, but precision truly matters here. First, set your category to Item and your property to Name. Second, choose Contains for your condition. Honestly, this acts as a great safety net. Third, type in your value. Now, pay close attention to this part. It is case sensitive. If the Revit layer is a capital F foundation and you type a lowercase f foundation, you're probably going to get 0 results. And finally, make sure you specifically select the structural model in your tree before hitting Find All, or else you might accidentally pull in architectural elements you definitely didn't want.
Next up, section 5, mastering and/or logic. Let's avoid those frustrating 0 result searches.
It is so incredibly easy to fall into the trap of using "and" when you want multiple categories. But if you tell Navisworks to find an item named doors and named windows, it's going to give you 0 results. Why? Because a single element cannot physically be a door and a window at the exact same time in the layer naming convention. You have to switch your condition to "or." Telling the software to find an item named doors or windows yields exactly what you're actually looking for. It grabs all the doors and all the windows, grouping them beautifully into one selection.
Oh, and watch out for the not or negate condition. This is an absolute game changer for fine-tuning. You know when a structural model imports with a bunch of random 2D model lines that just clutter up your 3D view? You can set a condition that finds everything in the structural model, but then use the negate function to basically say, not lines. It's an incredibly powerful pro tip to instantly clean up those bulk searches.
Finally, Section 6, Collaborating with Shared Sets. Basically, how to stop duplicating effort across your firm.
You really don't have to hoard all this hard work to yourself. Navisworks lets you export your customized search sets as an XML file to share with your entire team. And even better, you can import pre-made sets directly from your specialty contractors. The source highlights a phenomenal example. Imagine a framer sends you their model. Instead of you manually hunting for all their specific infills, king studs, and kickers, you just ask them to send their search sets along with the model. You import them, and wow, you are instantly ready to run clash detection the exact same way they do. It saves hours of manual data entry and standardizes the whole project across your project.
By getting the hang of dynamic search sets, dialing in that precise find items logic, and actually sharing those sets across your team, you're fundamentally changing how you manage BIM data. So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. Are you really still manually updating your clash detection sets every single time a new model drops? Or is it finally time to let Navisworks shoulder that heavy lifting for you? Thanks for tuning into The Explainer, and go take back control of your models.